Hello, Sudip sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
All good, sir. All good. So, yeah, today I was checking. It was 26th of February when I first reached out to you. It's 8th of August today. So it's a good time following up. And now we're finally come down. We've sit together to have a candid conversation. It's great to have you.
Sorry for we. It's not like I don't want to talk to people. It's just that when you are doing a startup business, there are a lot of things which you have to do, and sometimes time and will don't go together. So yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, here we are.
I
Good that.
completely understand. Completely because personalities like you who have been running your own entrepreneurship journey, even after so many years of completing your MBA, these type of people are inspiration to us because MBA is at the end Masters of Business Administration, and when you get into your business, you get to know what exactly how exactly things work. So,
Not exactly. You can work and
okay.
also know. When I was running the business for somebody else, I was
Mhm.
running a business. So it's not that I started learning business when I started on my own. But yeah, the challenges are different. The stress levels are different. My work profile changes when you become entrepreneur. Few things get added, few things get deleted. But business you learn whether you're working for yourself or you're working for somebody else.
Okay, definitely. Yeah, this makes sense actually. Okay, so sir, we have this one tradition on IIM. So to start with, for the audience, I'll just quickly introduce you, and then we'll move forward. So to everyone who is listening to this, we have Sudip sir with us today. Sudip sir is the CEO and founder of Uppercase right now. So Uppercase is basically a new entry to the market, a new entry to the luggage market. They've been creating sustainable backpacks and luggage into the ecosystem, and if you see today they have a good retail presence. So if you go outside to buy luggage, or even if you surf online, you'll definitely come across Uppercase. I am currently using an Uppercase backpack. So it's been a great journey because since February I've been also following up with the brand, and I've seen the brand grow with the retail presence increasing and also the word of mouth increasing around us. And so this was an introduction from my end, and the tradition that we have here is that I want you to introduce yourself. Now, this is not exactly a typical introduction, but it's more of a question that you need to answer is that who you are for yourself.
Wow, that's a difficult one. Uh, I think I think as a person, I am a perfect balance of IQ and EQ. It is very important for one to succeed to have both.
Mhm.
Uh, if you are high on one and low on other,
Yeah.
in both cases will not manage. So the biggest thing that one needs to do is to have a balance between the IQ and the EQ. Um, Saying that, I think you know for me, I'm a person um, who believes in uh, not taking shortcuts. I've never taken shortcuts in my life. Though, if you see my journey, I started working sometime around, I think, 96 as a frontline sales executive, in fact, sales promotion executive. And by 2017, I was managing director of a listed company, which happened to be India's number one luggage company, VIP Industries.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been a 20-year of super journey, but I can assure you none of that has happened because I've tried to take a shortcut or um, tried to shortchange in any way. And that's something that I think, uh, I would like to tell the youngsters, especially people who are just starting out, don't
Mhm.
be in a hurry. Do the right thing. If I can do it, you could do it.
So I don't know if it's too early for me to judge, but your aura and your persona is quite calm. You think through everything and then you speak, and it's something which is really necessary today, because I think that I lack on this front somewhere. I just keep blabbering and then spitting words out. But this thought process of yours, where you think and then you speak, was it an inherent trait, or did you learn it
I think
on
it's
the job?
all about the white hairs that you see on the screen on my head. I used to
Okay.
be like, yeah, like you. It didn't happen overnight. I think experience tells you, teaches you to be calm. I think sometime I also had attended a very nice session many years back. Um, this actually happened in Goa, and we were all put
Okay.
in. I have never done rowing, so there was this one canoe that I was put in, and I was alone, and I was put it into the sea, and I got nervous and it started shaking, and I kind of more nervous I got, the more shaky it became, and
Okay.
something told me to just calm down, and I calmed down, and I stopped shaking, and I could actually complete the task. It's a classic place where we say that the calmer you are, the better you can handle things, and the better you can deliver. Great learning. And over the years I have seen that uh, especially at junctions where things are not going well or are difficult, those are the times when you need to be calm. You need to become um, otherwise also, but specifically the times of crisis is when you really need to ensure that you are not you think before you do, because once you do, then sometimes it becomes difficult to take things back.
Okay. That's insightful. Uh, if you don't mind me asking, what's your age?
I'm 52.
52. And you completed your MBA in what year?
I actually didn't have a regular MBA. I did my MBA. It was a executive MBA from Sirmaur,
Okay.
2003 to 2005. It's the evening course that Sirmaur had at that time.
Okay.
Um, so you may say that I'm not part of the elite business student group. I worked myself up, but I can tell you this much, that over the years, I worked with some of the sharpest brains of the country, and have managed to work and gain respect and lead them at various points of my career. Um, so yeah, MBA does teach you to bring in discipline. Does teach you to bring in some amount of logic to how you are doing things. But there's also a lot of common sense, a lot of man management, which has to come naturally. As I said, your IQ and EQ has to be in the right proportion in order to succeed. I started off as the frontline executive in 1996, 97, I think. And in 20 years, became the MD. So um, it's a journey well traveled, I think. A lot of experience came in. And over the years, I've learned on the job, if there is something, anything like that.
Okay. So when you say that it's a perfect balance of IQ and EQ, which is very important to succeed in life, what do you exactly mean? Can you give us an example from your end or something?
See, when you're starting your career, it's great to be the IQ needs to be high, because that's where you are your individual who's performing, and you need to keep performing. But
Hmm.
as you move up in the ladder, the EQ has to kick in, because that's where you are working with other people. An
Hmm.
organization cannot be created with people who work in silos. An organization needs to be created where there are people, there are colleagues who are a team player. I've let go of
Hmm.
some of the brightest minds because I felt um, they are not suitable for the organization that I was running or the department that I was running at that point of time. Um,
Mhm.
it is very, very important for an organization to succeed uh, when everybody in the organization succeeds. Organization is like a trailer. Imagine there is a 70 wheel trailer or a 100 wheel trailer. Every wheel has to work. If one wheel feels that I am better than the other wheel, then the trailer will not move. So uh, as you go up the ladder, I think along with your IQ, your EQ has to come in, because that's how you start working well in an organization format.
Right. Okay. Uh, so let's talk about Uppercase a little. I have this one question since the beginning. The day I bought this bag, I have this Uppercase bag with me right now. So the day I bought this bag, I had this one question in my mind. So we are MBAs, we do look into brands and we do try to study them. So I bought this online, and this was recommended to me by a senior of mine. So she used to have a bag from Uppercase, and then she said that it's a good brand. You can try. I visited the website, and the logo of Uppercase, it says Uppercase in all the lowercase letters. Why is it so?
You have answered your question.
How come?
If I had to put it all in uppercase, you wouldn't have asked me this question.
Yes,
It wouldn't have
of
struck
course.
you.
Okay.
So you're not the first one, and I'm sure you're not the last one. Many people think we have made a mistake. I have to actually tell the media to write it in lowercase, because they feel that at least the first you should be high, in uppercase. I said no, everything has to be lowercase. Because it makes you stand out. It makes you different. It makes you noticed. I'm sure, as
Okay.
I said, if I had written everything in uppercase,
Hmm.
and you were not the first one. I was a couple of about a couple of months back, about a year back actually. We were looking for a new place to stay, and there was this lady broker who was taking us around, showing us place. And she
Hmm.
didn't really ask me what do I do, and kind of when I said I run a company, make bag. She said, which brand? Which bag company? I said Uppercase. And then she asked in Hindi saying, वो जो नीचे हाथ से लिखता है. So I think a lot of people have seen it. There's always it's there is a humor to it. There is, I think, a humor
Yes.
to the fact that why an uppercase is written in lowercase, and that makes people remember the brand.
Right. Okay. So it's increasing the recall, I see.
Yeah.
Uh, so
That's
is
how
was this?
that's how
Yeah.
that's where design science comes in. I
Okay.
think people underestimate what design can do to a brand just by the fact that somebody thought of writing it in a lowercase has enhanced the memorability of the brand, and people remember the brand because of that.
So can you disclose who was this? Who wrote?
Of
Who
course,
first came up with this idea?
we have an agency,
Okay.
somebody with whom I have worked, with a small agency again, uh, run by a gentleman called Nirmalya, a good childhood friend of mine. It's
Okay.
called the Rethink Company, and they're the one who have done the entire brand work for us.
Um, so uh, is this brand? Is this agency based out of Gurgaon by any chance?
No, it's based out of Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay.
This person used to be the ex-managing director of TBWA and
Okay.
Havas, and then he started on his own. And it's a small setup, but great in creativity and strategy. And we kind of worked together from very beginning.
Hmm.
And the other ones, they had suggested a couple of other names also, but I kind of liked this, and finally, because it's our company, we decided to go with this name.
Okay. And so working with organizations such as Samsonite, VIP, these are all luggage brands. Why did you come up with an entrepreneurial venture? Because you were leading a VIP for some time, for some good time actually. And now, why did you came up with this entrepreneurial venture at this
There are
age?
two things. One, I think somewhere COVID taught us a lot, and COVID taught me a lot. I think
Mhm.
COVID taught us that we can run an organization much uh, sharper, better uh, than the way we were running organization pre-COVID. Very difficult to change a large organization because that means a lot of heartbreak.
Mm.
Um, Also, I always felt, the luggage industry makes a lot of contribution into the global warming because we use a lot of plastics. And if
Mhm.
there was a way to create something um, which is very, very, very different from the rest, one should do it. And third thing, obviously, because everybody wants to do something on their own. I have worked for close to 20, 22 years as a professional, and I wanted to start something on my own and see where can I do it again? You know, and that was a challenge that I had, and it's my good fortune that in a very short period of time we are probably one of the fastest growing um, startups in India across all categories. So I mean, it's been a dream run as of now. Hopefully, it will continue.
Okay, so you talked about luggage industry. What does the luggage industry in India look like? And also, it has been witnessing a significant change with new players entering, like Uppercase, there's Mokobara. So, how does this entire spectrum looks, and how do you see it?
See, people eat, sleep, drink, people travel. So
Right,
travel is something which will always be there in the overall scheme of things in life. So demand is not a problem in our category unless there is obviously a COVID which comes in once in 3 years. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry, once in 300 years. Um, Thankfully not once in 3 years, once in 300 years. um so the point that I'm trying to make here is there's always a room, and the category is large for place to operate. Moreover, over the years, the category has changed a lot. Consumers have moved from being commodity, luggage being commodity, to luggage becoming brand. And I think a lot of credit needs to go to the established players because they've burned a lot of dollars behind it, making people understand. And I always say and always have said that luggage is like your home outside your home. So when you're traveling out of your home, luggage is your home, right? You keep everything there.
right,
So when you're making your home, when you take so much of time and care, why do you not take care of the home that is out of your home?
correct,
And people don't, and that's what over the years have happened. And I think somewhere the GST regime, and the fact that today, importing under um, um, illegally, like people used
Mm.
to under invoice, those things are very difficult to do. So the gap between the organized and unorganized have really come down in terms of price point. And therefore people prefer a brand, because when you buy a brand, you also buy into security, buy into style, you buy into um, quality, which an unbranded doesn't. So all of these things put together have really exploded the market. And brands like us and the other brands that you just said, some of us have realized that there's an opportunity for us to kind of create an organization which will be different, because consumers today they do not want the same classic old brands. There is this new set of consumers who are coming in, who wants to, like you, who wants to buy something which is different in the market. And if you can satisfy those customers and create empathy with them, then you can actually win the war.
okay. That actually makes a lot of sense in terms of business as well as in terms of understanding the industry. So, as you worked with luggage industry for a good time now, was it the case that you have an expertise here and hence you'll start a venture over here, or was it a gap that you identified working with those
I
companies
think
and then
I
you?
identified the gap. It's both,
Okay.
actually. If you are really ask
Okay.
me, I've been in this luggage industry for close to about 16, 17 years. So over these years, I've seen this industry change. Also realized that there is this entire eco or sustainable space, which
Mhm.
is available for us to take. And therefore, put together, I said this is the right time to kind of, get into trying something. I told myself I'll try for 2 years, doesn't work, go back to job. Fortunately, looks like it's working.
Yeah, seems like. Uh, so a few weeks back, I was at my home and I saw a lot of retail placement of Uppercase coming in. So there were a lot of retail display, branding. But we also know that e-commerce has been booming a lot. So in this age of digital selling, why was why did the brand Uppercase sort of taking a retail stance?
No, so see, end of the day, there's no brand. Even today, this classic D2C brand. We also started D2C. We started with e-com first.
Huh, right.
You can't say I will not be. You please be where the consumer is. If
Hmm.
consumer is in Tumbuktu, please go open and sell in Tumbuktu. I'm saying, who are we to decide where should we sell? We should not decide. If the
Okay.
consumer is available in online, you should sell in online. Consumer is available in offline, you should sell in offline. They are available in hyper, you should go and sell in hyper if your product allows you. If the consumer is available in the high-end stores and if your brand can afford it, go and sell there. It's all consumer driven. You don't decide, because if you decide, then you are bringing the overall market down. It doesn't work
Hmm.
that. Um, so that's where it is. Um, it is not that what we saw. We saw that there is consumer. There are, and therefore we have now started opening our retail stores. We already have general trade. We have e-com. And in future we would open up the other, wherever consumers are there, we will be there. That's the way to look at it.
Okay. So essentially, what I thought of is that a retail presence brings in a lot of cost, as far as I understand.
It
So
also brings in a lot of opportunity.
okay.
Today consumers see you. It works as an advertising medium. I'll give you an example. Think of a HDFC Bank.
Hmm.
The HDFC Bank never advertises. All they have is this large bank boards
Hmm.
across the country, and a
Right.
brand is created. So they also work a big time on advertising, the touch and feel. And um, fortunately, luggage retail is pretty profitable if you open the right store in the right place. So
Okay.
as of now, whatever we have opened, we are making decent profit. So if the costs are covered, investments are to be made.
Makes sense. Okay. So sir, taking focus apart from Uppercase, I want to know more about your lifestyle. How does a day in your life look like as an entrepreneur?
That's pretty boring. I'm sure most of you guys will go off to sleep. I'm I'm a family man. I have twin sons. Like to spend time with family. My office is there. A set of friends are there. At the age of 52, I'm not a very interesting and happening lifestyle. Um, uh, I think the way I see myself is, you know, at at this age, most of, and I'm not saying all, but majority of people start thinking of wrapping up things. Look towards retirement. How do I'm an idiot who left everything, corner of his job, and started from scratch. So
Yeah.
I think I have started the record, and I've gone right back to the starting line, and therefore there is this long race that I have to run now for at least another 10 years probably. um, but it's a race worth running, because not many people do this, and I'm very happy that I took the plunge.
Okay. Uh,
Did I answer
what
your
was
question, or did the question not get answered?
more or less yes, but I have a follow up. So as you left off the professional corporate world and got into entrepreneurship, how did you cater to the opportunity cost? Because a lot of people right after their masters think that I'll be working for 3 4 years and then will start something of my own, but that does not turn out to be a thing at the end. Why is it so?
See, it's a you know when you start working, you are into a learning phase, right?
Correct.
It's like when you get into a school. If you leave the school when you were in class 5, you will only learn till then.
Hmm.
So there is the reason why people have to stay in school till class 12 and then go and, go to college and then go to university and then go to work.
Right.
Similarly, when you start your job, you're again going back to the kindergarten of work. You need to work yourself up. You need to, you can't really say I will work for 3 years and, it's like, I will study till class three and then I will come out and I'll become some hotshot. Doesn't work that way. I don't believe it. Maybe some people are. The issue is what happens is you only hear people who are successful, and those are only a couple of them. You don't hear those people who did not succeed walking that same walk. I feel one should complete the school of learning in a corporate world.
Mm.
Spend a good 10, 15 years, 20 years. If because it's hard to fail if you know what you're doing. Um, I think I would have not been as successful as we are in the last 2 years. I mean, in last 2 years, we've touched 100 crores of revenue. In 2 years, I don't know how many startups across all categories have done that. Um, I would have been this, or we would have been this successful had I not got the experience of running some large organizations earlier. Uh, it tells me what are the risks. It tells me what are the opportunities. It's like completing your graduation and then getting into a job instead of saying nahi main to sirf I'll just study till class 9 and I will get into a job. It might, but chances of a class 9 failing in a job is more than chances of a graduate failing in a job. You have to
Correct.
understand that. That's the analogy that I have.
Interesting analogy, I have to say. Uh, so I want to dive a little deeper into the philosophies that you
So
have.
some people
Yeah.
do get into. So there are these prodigies in real life also who at the age of 12 is he's becoming a doctor, but there are far and few.
Yeah.
I don't belong to that. I had to complete my studies to get into business, and that's what I did. Most of us are like that. I mean, if you by 26, if you're not a millionaire, you're not in that prodigy, no matter what you think you are.
Hmm.
So be very truthful to yourself, saying that अगर मेरे को बनना था तो मैं 26 साल में बन गया होता है. Like, I
Yeah.
would have become a millionaire or a billionaire by then. If I'm
Right.
not, then it's okay. You don't have to feel bad about it, because as I said, those prodigies come once in most of us don't become a doctor when we are 15 years of age, right? But there are some people who do, and people who don't, then that person has to complete the course. So that's what I'm saying. So don't be in a hurry. Don't do that. I'll do 3 years of job and then get into it. Chances are that you will fail much more than what you would have done if you had kind of spent some time, learned at somebody else's cost, and then got into and done something on your own.
Right. Do you
Yeah,
feel stressed?
yeah. Of course, I feel stress. A very different kind of stress. I think when we are working for somebody, or when you are doing a job, if this job is not working, you will quit and you go and do another job. When you are
Hmm.
doing entrepreneurship, a lot of things depend on you. You are the captain of the ship. So, one, you cannot allow the ship to sink.
Hmm.
Second, if it's sinking, you should be the last one to get, jump off. So the stress, there is a very different kind of stress. Uh, but yeah, of course, there is stress.
What stresses you the most?
At different stages of entrepreneurship, it is different. Like when I started, the first stress was, do I get money to start the money? Can I
Hmm.
get seed round funding? Once I got the seed round funding, the stress was, can I use this fund to create a team and create product? Once that is done, then how do we get the product on the road and no one, start making sales? Once that started happening, then comes, how do I scale it up and how do I get the great people?
Yeah.
Today, current is, we know the sales are there. How do we make this company profitable? Once we make it profitable, there'll be another stage. So there is not one kind of stress. It all depends on what stages of life you are, and where. It's like, again, when you're a small kid, the stress is how how much can I eat and how much can I sleep, and
Yeah.
then you grow up and then you say, okay, the stress is a bit of studying, and then so it's like life. Running a business is like going through the motions of life, it kind of tells you what will happen at what stage, and depending upon the stage that you are in, you face the music accordingly.
Okay. So my objective of this entire episode is that once you log off, you should feel relaxed. This should not be a work to you, and hence we'll be going in we'll take a little flashback. We'll dive a little into your childhood, and then we'll walk through different philosophies. We'll talk business. We'll talk philosophies as well. Of course, till the time okay, it's 5 already. Can we extend a little? Can we
Okay,
extend it a little?
at 6 o'clock I have a board meeting, so it's 5:45 is what I would have a hard
Perfect.
stop.
Works.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, where were you born and where were you brought up?
I was born in Calcutta, brought up in Calcutta, studied in a school called Hindi High School, which currently is called Birla High.
Hmm.
Then I actually wanted to be a cricketer to start with.
Okay.
Didn't work. Then I wanted to be a lot more other things before I got into the corporate world, like all kids do. In fact, I did a TED talk, a TEDx talk. It's available on YouTube. Though the audio is bad, it's about 7 days that changed my life. How
Okay.
7 ordinary days made me what I am today. So each of those days taught me a particular life lesson that kind of um, got me where I am. Yeah, born brought up in Calcutta, came in from a nuclear family between of father, mother, and a sister and a brother. Uh, it's no there's no adventure to it. Simple lower middle class family, trying to meet the ends meet the ends of life, and um, those were it feels like many miles of years away, but yeah, it was 50 years back. World was very different at that time. Apple used to be a fruit, and Windows is something that used to open with hands. um, yeah, good old days. Had good time.
Okay. And any regrets not becoming what you wanted to become and entering corporate?
uh, yes and no. No, because I still want to be those. I'm going to quit in next 6 years' time and do exactly what I wanted to do. Maybe not play cricket, but I was very fond of performing arts. I was
Yeah.
a radio jockey for uh, almost 5 years with All India Radio.
Is it?
Yeah, many years back. I got through NSD, National School of Drama, um, but I had to quit because obviously I had to do what you call in Bengali chakri, naukri karna tha. Um, so I've told myself I'll work till 58 or maybe 60, create an organization that can be run by professionals, and then I'm going to quit and I want to do what I always wanted to do. I have a Oscar speech ready. I will win it one day and use it.
Okay. Currently, you're in Mumbai.
Yeah, I'm currently in Mumbai. Yes.
So you're in already in the city of dreams.
Yeah, living the dream. I never felt, but I will do it. I can assure you. Someday will probably you, if not you, somebody else will interview me for a very different reason. But I would have by that time done. I want to finish a chapter before I start another chapter. Something that I will definitely do before I hit the bucket.
Okay. I'll probably be there interviewing you. This has been a long thing for me and also an ingrained thing for me. So it started when I was an undergrad, and I started a podcast of my own when I was in my undergrad. I have completed my undergrad in Mumbai
Oh,
from KC College, Churchgate.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Good college.
So I started a podcast there by the name of Koi Nahi Baat Batao. It
Mhm.
still exists, but we have not been posting there because I started an MBA, of course.
Mm.
So I
Right.
don't really get time to make
Mm.
podcast for my own channel, but I make podcast for the institute. I founded the IIM MBA, that is here, a podcast. Again, identified the gap, got something,
Mm.
doing something of my own.
Mm.
So quite similar stories, quite different roles.
But end of the thing is you should do what you like doing. That is very,
Yeah,
very important.
true.
Sometimes you have to wait for some years to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Not everybody is lucky enough to, start doing it from day one.
Mm-hmm.
But you should not ever leave dreams, because those are the ones which, if you ask me what drives me today, I know this company will become big. I can assure you, in 5 years' time, this will be the top three luggage companies of the country. That I'm sure that I don't have a doubt. So what do I look forward to? I look forward to that other part of my story that I have not not ventured out as yet, and I want to again go back to the starting line and probably go to give auditions. I know nobody's going to take me. I don't look like a don't look like a acting material. But thankfully today, you don't need to look like a Shah Rukh Khan to do acting, or you don't need to look like Amir Khan to become a hero. I don't want to be a hero, but at least I want to fulfill my passion of acting. Someday I will, and I'm 200% sure I'll do it.
That should.
Another thing that you need to do is you need to know how to walk away. I walked away
Okay.
from a corner of his job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. Not at the age of, I was one of the youngest. I became CEO at the age of 45. Even people coming out of the best of the institutes don't become CEOs and MDs at that age.
Mm-hmm.
I operated for 5 years, and for 4 years actually, and then I walked out of a very, very cushy job because I wanted to do this. Um, mm, so I'm very sure that I can walk out of this and do what I want to do when the right time comes, and I will choose the right time. One of the things that you see if you go to my Facebook and another lines, I really believe in is a line from a very famous, or at least I like that song, called a song called Gambler by Kenny Rogers.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of that song. The song talks about a gambler and how he survives the world. It says,
Oh,
you know when to hold on, know when to fold on, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing is done. So I think it's something that I have lived with. You should know when to run and when you should, when to sit and when you should walk and when you should run, and know when to fold and when to
yeah.
say no. And you don't count your money when you're sitting at your table, because there will be time enough for counting when the dealing is done. And I believe that I've always done it. So I'm very sure that someday you will see me in some poster, maybe some terrible role, people wondering what I'm doing, but I will do it.
I'll come to Mumbai to interview you then. Okay. Uh, Moving forward, where have you completed your undergrad from, and what was the degree?
So I'm a BCom graduate from Calcutta University, from a college called Jaipuria College in
Mm-hmm.
Calcutta, and then got into a job like anybody else, and then slowly built myself up from there. I also had one of the things that I think I was different from is I think I was a bit creative than most of the other guys was. So even in sales, you need to get creativity and you
Mm-hmm.
need to know how to say what to say, and um, manage to impress people at various stages, whatever I used to do. And slowly I also got lucky. I mean, there, in life, you also need to have a bit of luck to be present where, the right time at the right place. So all put together, it worked out well. I think that's also very important. I think something that I keep telling my kids is, be a good human being. Good things happen to good people. I truly believe that. Uh, it In the long run, whatever some people might start with a very high speed but lose steam. There are people who who will start slow and pick up the speed. But end of the day, everybody will cross the line. And let's not take life seriously, because at the end of the day, everybody is going to be dead anyways.
Yeah.
Do what you like doing most. Do what you like, enjoy most, and um, everything will fall in place. Trust me, it will. It may not, look like that, but it will. It will.
So as you mentioned that you became a CEO at 45, and most of the people who are even graduating from biggest of the B schools of the country, they do not manage to do that. What do you think you did right, and what do you think you did wrong at your part
Uh,
to climb up that ladder so fast?
I think I started off by saying I think I had a phenomenal um balance of smartness and empathy. That is very, very important. I think I'm a very good man manager. People love working with me. I also, people say you should know your strength. I think you should know your weakness first, because when you know your weakness, you complement that, uh, or you ensure that you have people who can manage that part of your life. Um, so you should know your weakness, and then you have the right people doing the right job, and you let them do. Because when I was the head of marketing or head of sales and marketing, I used to hate people when hate my some of my bosses who used to kind of breathe down my neck. It doesn't work that way. At a senior level, you should let know people do. Keep a monitoring, because you are, after all, responsible for the overall performance. And if you see, um, the best part of VIP industries happened when I became the CEO. If the numbers are, it's a listed company, all available in the public domain to see how VIP picked up. When I joined, the market share used to be 61 rupees. I took it to about 647 rupees, so 10 times value addition to the organization. Um, and it didn't happen just because sales happened. It happened because we managed to create great company, a great organization, where people used to leave levers, and people used to leave some of the biggest FMCG companies to come and work for VIP industries. Um, it was because the culture that we created, the people that we hired. Um, we were very we were very, very demanding. It's not that we were very easy. We were the market leaders. In fact, during my tenure, the gap between us and the competition, which is the competition was Samsonite and Safari at that time, was the highest. Uh, we never allowed them to kind of. Today they're almost neck to neck. We never allowed them to be near. So I think somewhere this this balancing between the talent, you have to be smart. Of course, you can't really not reach here unless you are smart, and understand how businesses work, um, how to make your margins work, and how to ensure that you make the great product. But you also have to be a fantastic man manager. Very, very important. And people don't realize how important it is. And being a boss, or being sitting in a corner office, it 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 puts a humongous amount of responsibility. Like in that movie that they had said, with great power comes great responsibility. It is superbly important. It is actually one of the things that I firmly believe, that you have to be responsible for a lot of people. You can't be egoistic. You can't take, and you need to know how to listen to a no. If somebody is telling you that I don't think this is right, you should be smart enough to kind of judge and say, maybe he's right. Maybe that's the reason I, at the first place, hired him. If I've hired him, why I'm not listening to him? Most of the senior people fail because they're very controlling. You can't be controlling at that level. You need to understand, and help people to help you. One of the things that I think a great entrepreneur does is allows people to make money for them. The difference between a small time businessman and an entrepreneur of a large organization uh, is a small time businessman is control freak. He thinks everything he wants to do himself, and he thinks everybody's trying to cheat him and everybody's trying to make a fool of him, and therefore he remains small. While look at a person like Adhirubai Ambani, or look at a person like Premji, or look at a person like uh, Narayan Murthy. They've allowed people to make money for them. And when you allow, you also have to give responsibility and trust people and manage people. And when you say manage, it's not just manage their egos, manage their personalities. There was a time when about 12 people, all at us, senior vice president, vice president or senior vice president, were reporting to me, and they were all very different people, with different perspective in life, different thought process in life. You need to manage all of them. You can't say one, you can't make favorites. You can't say, okay, I like this guy. Of course, in that there are some people you like more than the others, but you need to understand that you have to live with all of them. All of them are important. It's like all those wheels of, I was running a trailer with 12 or 16 wheels reporting directly to me. I need to ensure that all the 16 wheels operated well, or
Mhm.
12 wheels operated well. I think it was 12, were with my direct reports. Uh, and everybody had a perspective. Everybody has a point of view. Everybody, if something is not right, it's not because only one wheel has not worked. It's because a lot of wheels have not worked. And you have to figure out where the issue is and ensure that those wheels function properly going forward. Um, so I think that's what I did right. I think, and it is not when I became an MD I did it. I started doing it right when I was a senior manager, when I was handling two people, because you reach by doing certain things. You don't reach there and then start learning, because it's very difficult. That's where people are late.
Mhm.
Whatever I spoke about, one needs to start doing it from a very early age, so that the speed at which you are going. You had asked me a question, how did it happen in 20 years? It's a dream run. I'm telling you, not many people can do it from where I was and where I reached. It's primarily because I practiced this right from day one. When I was an executive, when I was handling distributor salesperson, I used to handle that way, to the where I had IIMs reporting into me. At that time also, I used to handle them the same way. So we have to practice this from very, very early stage. And I think the balance between IQ and UQ, something that people don't understand how important it is, especially if you want to be a leader and run an organization. That is super, super important.
To focus on this one phrase that you mentioned, that we managed to grow VIP and also Uppercase because of the kind of culture that we set.
Yeah.
How do you build culture?
You build culture by choosing the right people. You build culture by giving those people enough independence to run. Uh, you build culture by setting examples of you know doing things right. In our organization, it's a very small organization. We are now about, I think, 75 people. um, uh, we everybody is heard. Everybody is everybody speaks their mind out. um, I don't behave like the owner or entrepreneur. I get a salary the way everybody else gets a salary. I take a day off, and I want my large long weekends, and I'm very happy to get a long weekend. Maybe I've been a professional all my life. I don't know how to behave like entrepreneur, but I think people like it because that's the culture that we're bringing in. It's a very professionally run culture. If I come and start poking nose in everything,
Mhm.
I'll give you an example. We are putting up a factory. The final decision of where the factory would be done, I was not involved. And it's a large investment for the organization. My CEO decided, who was my co-founder. He decided between, there were two places that we were, and he came and said that we're putting up the factory there. Now, I could have reacted saying, how come I don't know?
Mhm.
And I said, no, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to take that call. And I should be okay with it, because I've trusted him and got him into the into this whole space because what he is and why. And therefore, uh, you have to build that culture. You have to build the culture. Culture comes with trust first. The trust has to come in. And as a leader, you have to be confident and secure enough. There sometimes leaders are very insecure. If that guy does, then what will happen to me? He'll come and sit on my place. It doesn't happen that way. You are a leader because there is something within you which has made you the leader. Concentrate on that. Let people flourish, because that is how you will flourish. As a leader, you can't you can't bat through the innings. You would need partners to bat.
Get it. A lot of your phrases and a lot of the wisdom that you're sharing makes sense to me, because, oh, again, on a smaller scale, because I don't own a business, but I've seen and done things where I was a follower and also where I was a leader, and now things do make sense, whatever you're saying right now. Okay. So what's the plan now?
No plan.
No
A
plan.
plan. You don't make plans. You have vision. You want to. I want to make this. So globally, there is only one multinational in this space, which is Samsonite, and there is no other multinational which operates in all countries. And that Samsonite is in a very high stage. So there's a huge gap in between. We want to make this company a multinational company in a big way. So I don't want to become number one luggage brand in India. I want to become, if not number one, at least number two luggage brand in the world. That is big enough. That's whether it'll happen in my lifetime, I don't know. As I said, I'm not going to work more than 58. Another 6 years is left for me. But I think the vision needs to be clear to the people who are going to run this organization after I'm not there. Actively participating, I'll always be there because it's my company. I'll always be there. And give them and tell them, yes, let's try to become that. We'll make mistakes. We need to learn. We need to get the right people who can take us there, take us to our international markets, and uh, make this organization into an organization where people would love to work. That is very important. We need to
Mm-hmm.
make an organization where people would love to come and work, not because of the fact that we would pay the highest money, but because of the fact that we would make them very happy working here. You should. I keep saying this. I've always said this. The day you feel you have to wake up and think, "Oh shit, I have to go to office," please quit that job, because you are doing a great deal of harm to yourself and to the organization that you're working for. You should feel happy to go to a place to work. If the happiness is not there, then please don't work. It doesn't make sense. Find a place where you will be happy. The organization will also find a person who will be happy to come and organize and work in that organization. To create, that's the kind of culture that I would like to create. That's the kind of culture that we have already created. Um, like my current co-founder came in from ITC. He came in one third of his salary. He took that because
Why?
he wanted to work with me. He knew me. He was
Okay.
he had gone to ITC, and he came in one third of his salary. Today, obviously, he's very happy that he did it, because we've and whatever you promise, deliver that. If you can deliver that faster. So I think that's important. That's my biggest. People don't quit me. People quit bosses, right? That's what people say. People
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
organize. Very, very less number of people have quit me. Because they believe that I can bring in value to what they do, and the people like working with me. And that's because, again, as I said, you have to be a great man manager to be a leader.
Makes sense. So let's come to the end of the podcast. I have a question, and then we can conclude. Uh, so if you were 23 years old right now, with all the wisdom that you have intact, what would you do?
First of all, I will not be a 23-year-old or 21-year-old, whatever you said, and I'll have all the wisdom. It's not possible.
Of course,
I don't
just
believe.
a hypothetical scenario.
I don't think um, it is possible, and I don't think I want to talk about a situation which is not possible. Hypothetical situations also where it might happen. This will not happen. A 23-year-old will have a 23-year-old wisdom, and that's how it's supposed to be. I told you there will be some one or two prodigies who would probably become, but I'm not. So I don't know. So, but if I can rephrase your question, if I can go back 23 years, and what would I do? I would do exactly what I've done now. I wouldn't change anything because
Okay.
uh, every year, every day, every hour that I've spent has made what I am today. If I was a genius, I would have been genius at the age of 23. I was not. So it took me the time to reach where I've reached, and I'm very happy about it. It is what matters is where you end. Uh,
Right.
it doesn't matter how fast you have ended. I'd rather be remembered as somebody who grew from nothing, created something, and then again let go and created something else. It's like I climbed the corporate ladder. I went at the highest level, and then I quit. And I started again from scratch, and I want to take it to a level again. I want to quit again. I want to start something from scratch. That's this. I think I get bored after a certain period of time. Thankfully, the period is long. It's not like every 2 years. That's dangerous. Um, I think there's a learning cycle that one needs to do, and to complete it, and then to do something else. And you need to complete that cycle uh, to make the best out of what you are doing or what you have set out to do.
Okay. That sounds good. And I think with this we can close this. It's 5:30 right now. We have 15 minutes more, but we'll talk off camera.
Sure.
So
So thank
uh,
you for having me here. It was wonderful talking again. Sorry for the fact that we had to kind of change a couple of times.
totally
Um,
fine.
but I hope whatever edit that you do, don't keep it this long. It's pretty boring. But cut it into small pieces. I think that will be more interesting, and hopefully people will. I can't say I don't think I'm so big that people learn from me, but there are some few things that I've said, and experience is a very costly teacher.
Yeah.
If somebody is giving it to you free, take it and run with it, and probably it'll help people. So yeah, great, thanks, great talking to you, Dhruv, and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for being on IIM MBA. Thank you so much for sticking with me because I've been pestering you for a long time now. If I would have been at your place, I would have probably just ghosted, but you didn't. So it means a lot to me. And also, do you feel relaxed?
Yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I've got a board meeting coming up, so I have to prepare for that. But um, yeah, it was fun talking to. I've always liked, there was a time when I used to go and teach in a lot of colleges. These days, I don't get time. But more than teach, I should go and talk to people. I think sometimes people get these ideas, which is very different from what the real world is. And somebody from the real world needs to go and tell them, "Hey, listen, this is how it works." Um, I think I did a talk in Micah, I think, a couple of years back, after the red pill. What happens, once you take the red pill, and what happens after that. So
Mhm.
life is very different from what we emphasize or what we think about it when we're young. And some reality checks needs to come in, so that you don't sometimes expectations make people feel bad. Not that they're bad, it's just that the expectations are very unrealistic. Have realistic expectations, and you'll be happy. So with that, I think I am done, and thank you very much for having me.
And on this note, let's close it. Thank you so much for listening to us, whoever stick till the end. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, stay tuned, keep learning, and peace out.